This is LOA Recon with Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we explore the ins and outs of conscious creation to manifest our favorite dreams come true. Let's have some fun together. Welcome and thank you for joining me for another episode, which I'm recording later than I really wanted to because there was an incident. My chickens crossed the road when we all wondered why. My chickens left my yard, crossed the road to go to her yard, and I texted her to let her know. And it turns out she's been trying to lure them into her yard for quite a while, she tells me. She only has 2 chickens left in her flock, and she's felt kind of bad for them, so she thought it would be fun if mine came over for a play date. But she said she could never get my chickens to leave my yard. So she was pretty delighted that they were there. And I was like, yeah, but why all of a sudden did they decide to get up and go? And her take on it was different than my take. She said something must have scared them because she's been trying to lure them with treats and she couldn't get them to leave my place. So she thinks one of my cats, and she said, and there he is right there. There's a culprit right there. There was Magnus in the yard. But you know what? I'd been in the office, I'd been looking in the yard. Normally, if a cat's hassling them, they make some sounds, and they aren't that nervous of cats anymore because they know none of my cats are really going to bother them. But if a cat does get closer than they like, they make some sound. They give me a chance to come out and shoo someone off, but mostly they just hang out in peace with the cats. So I didn't think it was that. I thought it was that they were getting more confident, they were getting bolder, they were getting more exploratory, more adventurous. Maybe it's that they thought her yard would have grasshoppers when mine was out. It's gotten cold here, so maybe they were just looking for some more bugs. I don't know. She saw chickens in distress. I saw chickens who were the opposite of in distress. And this perspective, actually, this ability to choose, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Actually, I don't want to talk about anything. I want to give you a pop quiz. Are you in the mood? It's a pop quiz for conscious creators only because no one else would get this. So if you're down for entertaining, I just got 5 questions here. It'll be short and sweet, but let's have some fun with it. Okay, first question. What do you do when 3 things in a row go sideways on you? Like when everything you touch feels like a struggle, or even the little things aren't working out. Oh, okay, and why 3, you might ask? Because the first one, you might not even notice, and the second thing that goes wrong, you could probably still shake it off, but it's the third one. By number 3, that's a sign something is afoot vibrationally that you might want to be aware of. So, what do you do after 3 things in a row go wrong for you? Is it A, knuckle down and try harder? Like if you just apply more effort, surely you can make something work? Or is it B, you blame the world or the universe for not realizing you have a good vibration that deserves for something to go right? You're being ripped off by law of attraction here, and it is not cool. Or is it C, you take a deep breath and try again because you don't have time for this crap. This really needs to be fixed right now. Or is it D, you take a break and you come back when the vibration clears? That's the first question. It's making me laugh. I don't mean to be laughing during our test. Okay. Probably because I see myself in all 4 of those. Okay. Second question. What do you do when you can't find anything that feels better? You know, those times when, as a conscious creator, all we ever have to do in our manifesting work is reach for whatever feels better. But when that time comes that nothing actually does feel better, or whatever you try, it doesn't work. Yeah, those times. So the question is, what do you do when you can't find what feels better? Is it A, you look for whose fault it is that you can't feel better, like the kids, or the dogs, or the job, or the boss, or the budget, or the partner, or the body, or the neighbor, or the government, or the economy, etc., etc. Surely it's someone's fault, and that's where your attention goes. Okay, that's A. B is you find someone else in the same boat who will understand how bad it sucks to be you. You reinforce for each other why it's impossible to feel better when things are the way they are. Maybe you even strike up a call for change in an effort to create the conditions that'll make it easier to feel better. C is, oh yeah, you just go to the pantry or the fridge, look for some solace there, maybe combine it with a Netflix binge. That's C. D is give yourself more room to look for what feels better. Like when you can't find something that feels better, you're not looking widely enough. It's probably hidden under a string of swear words, or an angry rant, or a good cry, or maybe a slamming door. If you're looking in the book of affirmations by Louise Hay, or you're forcing yourself to listen to Abraham clips, or thinking about rainbows and kittens and unicorns and it's just not working, you might need to expand your vibrational repertoire, your playground, because it might be to entertain a revenge fantasy, or to put a few pins in the voodoo doll, or something darker that you weren't letting yourself consider before because you're not that kind of person. Ooh, in fact, you might notice that A, B, and C are all options of what might actually feel better, but it's kind of in disguise. Like blame might feel better. Group complaining or woe is meing might help. Food sometimes does the trick. None of those are bad things. See what I mean? What feels better might sometimes be in the guise of something negative, but it's not really negative if it feels better, right? I didn't mean to be giving hints during the quiz. Okay, here's the third question. What do you do when someone is mean to you? Aw, is it A, you wonder what you did to deserve that kind of treatment? Like you wonder, did I cut them off, or did I forget to signal? Or did I say the wrong thing? Meaning you look to yourself as the one at fault or the reason for their behavior. Or is it B? You give it right back to them because they are not getting away with that. They've got it coming. They will know you are not to be disrespected or trifled with. You have boundaries. Or is it C? You know that this is about them, not you. So you bless them to see the light and go on with your day. Or is it D? You recognize they are your creation and you make any adjustments as you see fit. As in, maybe you don't let it bother you, or maybe you question your perception. Like you wonder, were they really being mean? Or was that just your story? In other words, you check yourself because the world is just you pushed out. Okay, that's D. Fourth question. What do you do when your gremlin has a good hold of you and you can't shake it? Like no matter what you try, you can't get rid of the voice that says you can't, or you shouldn't, or you suck, or life sucks, or it's all wrong, it'll never work, or who do you think you are? That voice, that's what I'm talking about. When it's tenacious and you're unsuccessful in ignoring it or shushing it, what do you do then? Is it A, book a session with an exorcist? Is it B, take an Ambien? Is it C, chalk it up to a bad mood or a bad day and don't take it seriously? Or is it D, conduct a reality check? I'm laughing at this option. Conduct a reality check where you just entertain the worst case scenario. Like where you sort of disarm the gremlins by calling their bluff. Like, oh, you think it's so bad? Well, what's the worst that would happen? Let's just look at it. And you realize, okay, it's not that bad. Okay, those were the 4 options for our 4th question. But you know what? This is actually a trick question, I think, because if you're aware that your gremlin has the reins, you've already won. The trick is not to believe that voice. When you don't believe your negative thoughts, they're not as bad as they are when you think they're true. So if you know it's your gremlin, you already know it's a lie and it's got nothing on you. It's just noise. In fact, it might even be helpful because whatever the opposite of what it's saying is probably more true. So in an indirect way, gremlins are pointing us toward the truth. Maybe in that sense, we could celebrate them for showing us that way. But my point is, if you know it's your gremlin talking, you don't have to do anything. There's nothing to worry about because you're not buying it. It's when we don't know that it's our lizard brain talking that we can get into trouble when we take it seriously. Okay, here's our 5th and last question. What do you do when a giant, unmovable obstacle stands in the way of your dream come true? Like, you want to be a dancer, but you don't have the right body for it. Or you want to see the aurora borealis in person, but you can't travel. Or you want to have a baby, but you're already through menopause. This is different from the prior question in that these aren't just gremlin opinions or ideas. These seem like stone-cold facts and circumstances that are preventing you from having what you most desire. So what do you do in that case when a giant obstacle is standing in the way of what you want? Do you A, try to talk yourself out of it by thinking about how it probably wouldn't have been that great anyway? Or B, sigh the deep sigh and hope that one of your alternate selves in a parallel reality is enjoying it? Or C, pick a smaller desire or some related version that's more realistic? Or is it D, rethink any thought that stands between you and your dream and invite universe to play with you because you know anything is possible that you're willing to find the vibration of? Could you tell from my tone which answer I prefer? Okay, those are the 5 questions. Let's score this now. Here's the thing. There's no scoring. There's no way to get this quiz wrong. You get to choose whatever you like because no one's judging, no one's tallying, there's no right or wrong. You simply get whatever you choose. How cool is our system? Come on, there's no one else to satisfy. There's no standards to live up to. It's just whatever we pick for ourselves right here and now. And then again and again and again. That's our whole life. Life just keeps giving us chances to decide how we want to play. Hope you enjoyed this quiz. And speaking of playing, if you would like another way to play with me, I figured out how to send texts just a couple times a week that are designed to cue up your good vibration. Actually, you got to be in the US or Canada for me to be able to do this. I don't know how to send them internationally yet. But for now, if you're in the US or Canada, you can text Pimp My Vibe, no spaces. That's Pimp My Vibe to 385-354-5355. And it'll automatically sign you up to get texts from me. I'm just going to send them a couple times a week that are just little prompts for us to activate good vibrations. Okay, and if you're not in the US or Canada, but you are in Good Vibe University, we have a thread for these, so you can read them there if you can't get the texts. Or if you're not in the US or Canada or Good Vibe University, but you still want to receive the prompts, there's a Facebook group, Good Vibe Prompts, I set up because I didn't want anyone to feel left out on these. So there's a Facebook group where I'll post them there. Or if you've got other ideas how I can get them to you, let me know. Because I think we could all do with some simple reminders throughout the week to refocus our attention in a way that lets all our best dreams come true. Doesn't that sound like fun to you? All right, that's what I've got for you today. Thanks for listening and for playing, and happy manifesting.